Hello, ocean people. Welcome back to Brent Durand Underwater. Today, we're going to review the Insta360 Ace Pro for underwater video. So this powerful action camera packs a very impressive spec list and feature set, and even ergonomics and function that make it really easy and fun to use underwater, while delivering really great image quality and color correction. So you can mount it on a tray with lights, on a selfie stick, on your big camera housing, on your mask, or even hand hold it without the dive housing down to 33 feet or 10 meters. But we'll focus on using the camera inside of the dive housing, since that's how most of us scuba divers and free divers will use the Ace Pro. Let's start with the Ace Pro's lens, which was co-engineered by Leica. Leica has an outstanding reputation in the photography and optical imaging communities for exceptional lenses and optical elements, and the image quality should be great on this camera, and it is, as you'll see later on in this video. The lens has an aperture of f2.6, which is pretty wide and pretty wide open, allowing a lot of light to enter the camera, aiding in some of the color for underwater video and also low light shooting. The Ace Pro has a large 1/1.3 inch sensor, which is big for small action cameras like this. And just like with prosumer cameras, the larger sensor means the sensor is able to capture more light. It enables higher dynamic range in the scene, so more data from the white point to the black point, and better shadows and better detail in the shadows and better detail in the highlights, and also better opportunity to create better colors and contrast underwater. The camera is built around a brand new 5nm AI chip, which enables powerful processing and some advanced AI features. This includes Aquavision 2.0, which is Insta360's advanced color processing underwater, which delivers accurate, realistic colors and also accurate white balance. And it's processing that frame by frame as you're down there shooting. It's able to maintain great image stabilization with that color correction, and also if you're shooting HDR video. That high dynamic range video, HDR, is applied automatically at 30 frames per second, 24 frames per second, or 25 frames per second. And again, while it's challenging to process that plus image stabilization plus color correction, the Ace Pro handles it in stride. Let's take a look at all of this in action underwater in the California kelp forest. Here we are in the kelp forest shallows with those sun rays really piercing into the shadows of the scene. And we've got a perch here and red rocks, lots of great color coming out of the rocks, this artificial reef here, up into the kelp, and great image stabilization. You saw how smooth that transition was. Here I am diving, and you can see detail in the mask here, which goes more towards that dynamic range, that nice brown color in the kelp instead of a greenish tint, just nice blue in the water, red on the rocks with that lingcod. And this is shooting into the sun. You can see detail at the top of the frame in the water, but then you can also see detail in the shadows with the starfish. I'm hand holding the shot, so it's a little shaky, but for all intents and purposes, we can really see the quality of the images we're getting from this camera, even at depth here, about 45 feet with the sea lions. And great color on the surface too at the end of the dive. That's pretty nice, right? If you're curious, check out other videos on my channel to see some comparisons between the Ace Pro and some other action cameras. Now let's take it back underwater with dual 4300 video lights to see how the color and image quality does with that artificial lighting scenario. And this is why we use video lights underwater. You'll notice the white on the anemone, the yellow on the holdfast and the anemone, the greens, the blues. The colors really pop, and the Ace Pro does a great job in this scene as well, delivering those colors. Now I'm going to move away from these starfish for a while, and you'll see Aquavision 2.0 pause and then process right there, and now it comes back. But generally, you're not moving around too much with lights. You're more static, like in this shot where we've got vivid color lit up front and we've got nice blue background. So great job with the Ace Pro on delivering the background color and the foreground color. So what is PureVideo? Insta360 made a lot of buzz when the Ace Pro was announced by talking about low light performance thanks to PureVideo. Essentially, it is another advanced processing enabled by this AI chip that is geared towards night shooting and enhancing low light performance. So it does this while also maintaining great image stabilization, which is testament to the great processing power on the computer. I didn't get a chance to take this on a night dive, which is really where you would see this excel, but I did film some quick shots in my garage while gearing up for the last dive day, so let's take a look at those. And these are some tanks in my garage here, shot in standard 4K 30 HDR video, boom, with PureVideo enabled. So a lot brighter, it's obviously brighter and very stable too. Here's some tanks in the back of my car in standard, and here's with PureVideo enabled. So definitely works. The Ace Pro has some great features that make it stand out for surface use as well. Imagine you're on your dive vacation and filming everything with the camera. First is that the 2.4-inch touch LCD screen flips up. So it's bright to use underwater and it's big, which is fun to use underwater, but it's nice if you're shooting yourself or filming at an angle like this, or maybe you have a low angle where you want to look down and see the screen as you're filming, maybe as you're moving. So that's a really useful feature. The other thing is that it features a magnetic mount. So the magnetic mount clips in, it has a couple of clips there, so it's very secure. So if you have this mounted on a tripod or a helmet mount or on a suction cup on the front of your car or something and want to get the camera off, you just clip it off like this. It's easy, it's secure, and it doesn't require any twisting from the base of the camera and doesn't have any sort of extra vibration because of tabs coming down from the camera. So the magnetic mount is pretty cool and pretty useful. The Ace Pro also shoots still photos at 48 megapixels, which is a lot of megapixels compared to other action cameras. Now, most people getting an action camera will probably be using this for shooting underwater video only and some surface video on the dive trip. But if you do want to shoot photos, which I've actually done a lot of in the past with action cameras, it's very useful. You can set it on time lapse and stick it on a pole in the water to shoot dolphins or whales coming up near you or situations like that. Or you shoot one photo at a time. You know, if you're taking a photo of your group at a great outlook on your vacation and this is your only camera. So a lot of versatility with still photos. Now let's head to the beach to look at a few more features. In auto mode, you can choose different color profiles to shoot from with the Ace Pro. You access the menu by swiping left on the screen and hitting the button that says standard. So this is standard color. I chose Ocean 1 color just to see what that looked like. And I also chose Ocean 2 color. So you can choose the profile you want to use. Now for lens, this is an ultra lens with a fisheye effect. And you might not want the warping, so oftentimes on land, go to de-warp lens, and that will take out that barrel distortion and creates a pleasing image for you. Now what I'm doing is I'm running on the beach actually pretty quick using horizon lock and flow state image stabilization. You can see the horizon is straight and the footage is very stable. So this is great if you're on a dive boat over the ocean. And here we are looking at another scene using Clarity Zoom. So I double tap the screen or tap the arrow button and you'll see high quality zoom with the Ace Pro on those buildings. A really cool feature. Let's talk about operating the camera inside of the dive housing. So we'll pop it in really quick. You always want to make sure the O-ring groove is clean and that the O-ring is clean of debris. Every single time, any camera that has a housing, always check every O-ring. Once it's inside of the housing, we have two different buttons to control the camera because we don't get to touch that LCD screen. So we have to think ahead with some of the settings. Luckily, Insta360 has made the Ace Pro very intuitive with some great features for underwater photographers. You have your shutter button on the top and you have your power and your mode button on the side. Now there's two features that I always suggest setting up with an action camera. The first is quick capture, which basically turns on the camera when you push the shutter button, even if it's asleep or off. Basically, you want to set your camera to turn off after a certain period of time underwater to save battery. So if that has happened and you see some action, you want to start recording your video, push the shutter button, the camera wakes up or turns on and starts recording video. So it's very useful. The second is to configure presets with certain settings that you'd like to use underwater on the camera. And with the Ace Pro, you can configure a quick switch to access just the presets you want when you're underwater shooting through the mode button. It's extremely simple and streamlined and easy to use. Now, if you're a basic shooter, you can leave default video on, shoot right out of the box, and it's easy to go. Or if you want a few more custom settings, you can program one preset and have that preset be the default, set it and forget it, and now you're shooting with those slightly modified default settings. Very easy, system for shooting, sort of like a point and shoot camera. But if you're a little more advanced, I definitely recommend setting up 3 different presets. One is a general video setting for shooting everything. One is a setting for shooting fast action with a slightly faster frame rate. And the third is for night shooting, taking advantage of the acepro's PureVideo mode. So let's take a look at the camera. I'll show you exactly how to set up those presets. I just turned on the Ace Pro and I am in the default video mode. So to start looking at my first preset, what I want to do is set up 4K 30. So that's basically where I'm at right now. 4K resolution, 30 frames per second. HDR is automatically enabled at 30 frames per second. Image stabilization is standard, which is good. I'm also going to take a look at the lens. Now the lens is on ultra, which has a bit of a fisheye effect, a bit of barrel distortion, and that's okay underwater. So I'm going to leave that and make that my first preset for underwater video. So to create the preset, we're going to tap this video icon and immediately hit preset in the upper right. So video, preset, and now at the end you'll see there's a plus. So I just tapped the plus and I am going to pick a preset name. Let's call it custom 1. So now I can see my whole preset with the different settings here, and I will save it. And now it's here under my list of presets, custom 1. So let's enter that. But now I want to set up my second preset. So I'm going to tap these numbers here, and this is going to be fast action. So I want to set this up at 60 frames per second. Now, if you're diving shallower or have really clear water, you may go 120 frames per second for really enhanced slow motion. But 60 frames per second will give you 50% slow motion, which is pretty good and safe and actually performs well at depth, even in darker water. So I've made that change. Image stabilization we will leave alone. Lens we will keep on ultra. So let's save this as our second preset. So there we go. I'm going to hit the plus, and I'm going to call this custom 2. Save. Here we go. Now I've got my first 2 presets. So for the third preset, what I want to do is change to PureVideo mode, since this is my night diving preset. So I'm going to go back in here and hit the mode button, and I am going to go to PureVideo mode. And this defaults to 4K 30. You'll notice I do not have a choice for image stabilization, but that's okay. And we're still using the ultra lens. So we are going to leave that as is and save this as custom 3. So preset, whoop. We're going to hit this video button. You have to be fast, hit preset. At the end, hit the plus. Let's call it custom 3 and save. And now we've got our 3 presets created. Note you can always tap on one and hit the blue icon down at the bottom, the pencil with the pad, and you can edit any of these configurations at any time. Or you can delete it or go back to the preset menu. And now that we have our 3 custom presets set up on the Ace Pro, it's time to configure Quick Switch so that we have easy access between them using this side button from inside of the housing. Let's take a look. Configuring this menu is quick and intuitive. You push the mode button and immediately push the 3 dots on the upper right. And now you've got the Quick Switch customization menu. So you've got regular shooting modes for photo, video, time-lapse first. And then you go down to presets and you've got all the presets that the camera has. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 for my 3 presets. And then once I have something selected here, I can deselect regular video preset because I don't need that. You'll notice that my only selections now, 1, 2, and 3, are my 3 custom video presets. So I simply scroll back to the top where it saves. And now if I want to switch between those inside of the dive housing, all I do is push the side mode button and I can switch between my 3 presets. I don't need any other clutter or any other navigation. Simple, easy, quick. And as long as we're zoomed in, let's take a look at the Insta360 app when using the Ace Pro. Now I've already connected the camera and I'm taking a look at my library footage, the album from my dives. Now, like most of these apps, you can control the camera and settings. You can even configure your various presets and adjust those using the app itself. But one of the really cool things is once you start editing, it's very intuitive. So let's take a look at this clip we're looking at. And immediately with one tap, I have access to all the different types of editing I can do here. Now there's a lot that you can swipe to, for instance, adjust, which brings up manual, color adjustments and exposure adjustments. You can do filters, a number of other things, but Aquavision 2.0 is really cool. So we tap that And what we do is we can adjust the color that we're seeing in this footage underwater. So here's a tone. I can really bring out the warm colors or really cool here. So you can see that big change. And then what we can do is adjust the intensity of it. So now we can adjust how much of that effect we're applying, from 0% all the way to 100% of that effect. So Aquavision 2.0 is a really quick, easy way to color correct, and it means you don't need third-party software. You can import your footage right from the Ace Pro into the app, make your adjustments, trim it into a movie if you want, and then export it immediately to social media. So the app is quick, easy to use, and actually one of the great benefits of the app as well is that while you're importing footage, certain apps will force you to keep that app open on your phone, which kind of sidelines you from using your phone for other things. The nice thing with the Ace Pro and the Insta360 app is it can download the footage in the background. So you can use your phone for doing other things while you're downloading that footage, which is pretty cool. So that's it. That's my review of the Insta360 Ace Pro for underwater video, including some of the best settings and custom presets. If you'd like any more info or have questions, leave those questions down in the comments. I would love to answer those questions there, or even make another video or a YouTube short addressing some of those questions. So feel free to ask them, feel free to subscribe and check out the other videos on my channel, and I will see all of you in the next video. Boo!